Oh, yeah. It's Gorp time. Everybody, sit down and shut up. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Josh. Welcome to Gorp. Gorp, of course, stands for Gloomhaven, Othello, Rumacube, and Pictionary. Why did I do that just now? Anyway, those are all board games. Today we're talking about board games. Rolling the dice, yelling at your neighbors. My name is Josh. Hi, we're also joined by Brooke.
Hello.
And then there's a Mark down there.
Hi, Mark, AndrewSwan.net.
By my brother, he's a longtime listener, first-time guest host. His name is Nick.
Hi.
He's going to be our special guest today because we're talking about board games, and if you'll notice the shelf behind him, etc., there's a lot of board games in the house. He's always the one who reads the directions first and then explains it to us. It's a terrible burden to have. The receptacle today is a bag from the game Azul. It's a Portuguese game about matching up tiles, different colors of tiles. It's a really fun game. I highly suggest it. Kind of fun. Anyway, first topic of the day. Ooh, that's a good way to start. Genres. So types of games and why we like them and stuff. What do you think, Mark?
What do I think? I'm really impressed by what's going on in your window. My favorite genre is cooperative. I like cooperating with other players, as opposed to competing. If there is a competitive element, that's fun. But for whatever reason, I just really like if we all share a common goal. And that's and stuff. It's a rare breed of board game. But when we find something like that, I like to play it.
I really like cooperative just because I played a lot of games that were competitive, and it's kind of fun to win. But sometimes you beat somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. So you're playing this 45-minute long board game, and you're just explaining the board game to them, really. And they're just seeing their first game, and you're like, well, I won. And it's like, well, I beat somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it's fun, but I really love cooperative because then everybody kind of gets a moment. Everybody winds up with a thing that they did that really helped out, and I feel like that's just better to kind of just share the good feelings rather than just dominate somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, working together.
Totally.
Fun.
I'm just going to agree with what you guys are saying. The collaborative is probably the best. I am really competitive. Too competitive. So if it's a competitive game and I'm able to compete, sorry for you guys. Are
you a bad loser?
No, but also I'm going to try everything to win other than cheat, but if you win, it's because you really won. I'm not going to give it up. Basically.
Would you say that, when you play Monopoly, for instance, do you go full sociopath?
Yeah.
You have to.
That's what you get for playing Monopoly.
Yeah, I try not to play Monopoly anymore.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know we're playing Monopoly wrong?
We're playing it wrong?
Yeah, Monopoly's actually got this really long history, but it's actually a little sad. Monopoly started off as this board game. It was actually I think a teacher made it, and there are 2 modes to the game, and we've only ever played one. But there were 2. There's a cooperative mode to the game where everybody just kind of helps each other out and tries to invest. And she was creating this game as a teaching tool to teach about how capitalism ultimately is unfair and unbalanced, and working together is a better way to do it.
So you play the other mode that's this is the right way to do it. I got you.
Yeah, no. It was derived from something called the Landlord's Game by Lizzie Magie in 1903 as a way to demonstrate that the economy that rewards individuals is better than one where monopolies hold all the wealth.
That's
but
amazing.
she was just using it as a way to push economic theories about sharing and equality and stuff. And some guy like found the game, took credit for the whole thing, and then pitched it to Parker Brothers, and Parker Brothers pushed it out.
Fucking monopoly.
He monopolized on it.
He monopolized on it,
Oh.
and then but he only included the competitive rules. He didn't
Right.
include
Of course he
her
did.
rules.
'Cause that's the
And
only
then
language he speaks.
after they went to put the copyright out for themselves, they found out that she already had the copyright, and then they paid her a ridiculously small amount of money and said, "Hey, we're going to put your game out." And
Sad as fuck.
yeah, it's not a nice story.
That's so sad.
Wow.
That makes me miserable.
So what's the real creator's name? Do we know?
Monopoly
yeah,
Junior.
it's Lizzie Maggie.
Oh, Lizzie Maggie.
Elizabeth Phillips is her full name.
Thank you,
writer,
Elizabeth
feminist,
Phillips.
Writer, feminist,
Thank you,
and
Elizabeth
Georgist.
Phillips. And a woman.
Georgist?
She played the Georgia
just
one.
looked up- I just looked up
Oh.
Elizabeth Phillips, and I got this like UFC chick. So I think I found the
Nice.
wrong.
No, that's her,
Elizabeth
Doc.
Phillips. Oh no,
That's definitely her.
oh yeah, yeah, it's UFC fighter and
Elizabeth
Monopoly.
not
J.
really around
Maggie
anymore.
Phillips was an American game designer, writer, feminist, and Georgist.
What's a Georgist?
Georgist. She just likes
She
George.
was she wanted to illustrate the teachings of progressive era economist Henry George.
Ah,
Shouts out
Okay.
to Henry George.
yeah, my man.
Anyway.
Very specific.
Yeah.
HG.
But so co-op games. The first one that comes to mind for me is one that Nick showed me, and it's Betrayal on the House on the Hill.
Oh, it's
And
so
it's,
good.
It's such a good game. Like you have characters that you pick. So there's the small kid, there's the smart guy, there's the pastor, there's the jock. So you're basically a Scooby-Doo gang working together to explore this house. And like there's tiles for the board. So like as you enter this room, you draw a tile. So it's all random. Every game is different every time you play it. And like there's haunted stuff happening. Like you're in a Scooby-Dooby. And then that's the first half of the game. The second half of the game is something happens that triggers an event which reveals who the bad guy is. And it's
Yep.
one of you.
Ooh.
So depending on
It's
something
so
that happens
fun.
to you,
It's
like
so
maybe this
fun.
game, like if we're playing, maybe it's Brooke. Brooke, you are the betrayer. Or what's the traitor? What is it? I forget.
Love
Traitor.
that for me.
And so now you have
The
based on
ghost.
what you did, you go to the book and it tells you like, oh, this time you're a werewolf. Or the next game you play,
Right.
this is all a movie set, but it's haunted. Like it's different every time, and then it becomes us versus you.
And and the rules for the game just change entirely.
It shifts.
And depending
so
on
it's
yeah,
co-op, and then it's half
so
co-op,
cool.
half opposite. It's so good.
I
so
like
fun.
that.
It's really fun.
Betrayal on the House.
I
on the
remember
Hill.
there was this
Yeah.
one game I played with some friends, and we did Betrayal, and I ended up being the traitor. And so I go read what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's like, oh, by the way, you're actually trying to help them, and you need to convince them that you're not trying to kill them all. But
Oh yeah, because only you get to read your part, then they read their part. So
yeah,
can
only you
secret
get to
stuff.
read your part. And
Oh.
so, like, I knew it was the bad way to do it, but I just kind of came in and was like, guys, I'm trying. Like, I tried to confess to the whole thing, and nobody believed me. Everybody thought it was a trick.
That's awesome. That's yeah, the one time I played that I ended up being the bad guy, and I think I was like a witch who could like summon skeletons to attack everybody else. It was pretty basic play, but it was still so fun.
Yeah,
It
sometimes
was
just
just-
go capture the flag or get out the door as fast as
Right.
possible or whatever it is.
Ah, I
It's
might
pretty
go
cool.
I might go pick that up today.
Yeah. But then you also have games
they
that are
actually-
like liars. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if you're picking it up, they actually just made a new edition of the game that cleans up
Oh,
a lot of
nice.
the rules.
Oh, yeah,
that's
and they have
awesome.
better figurines too. Another genre is I like is like liars games. So like Werewolf
Yeah,
by
social
Night
deduction.
or social
Mm,
deduction, like Who Done It's or Heads Up 7 Up even.
My fiance hates social deduction games.
Yeah.
We've
I can
played
see.
so many that she's just there. She is.
Oh no, there's just an aspect of lying and looking someone in the eye and trying to be a liar to them. So I understand like the negative aspects of it, but in my opinion, well, I mean, sometimes you lie, and it's fun to practice that biological talent that we have as humans. It's fun.
I think she's just tired of doing it because people like in a lot of our games, the same people lie kind of the same ways. Eventually, you figure out tells. And
you figure out tells. Yeah.
Uh,
That's like me with Cards Against Humanity.
like-
Eventually, you play so much that you know whose joke it is because you know what their humor is, and you've seen the cards enough times.
Right.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
See what we got in here. Oh, tabletop RPGs. So we're talking about some role-playing games, like some Dungeons, Dragons, and stuff. We could probably go on this all day, but I guess we can keep it kind of short and just say I like them.
This is where Josh has revealed that he's roped us all into his session. His,
Yeah,
like,
all this
homebrew.
Oh no!
Do you guys have any
I
experience?
don't have dice.
You ever done some D&D,
I-
Brooke, or anything?
Any
I've
experience
done-
points?
No, I haven't. I want to. I would like to do that. It sounds interesting to me. But I understand like developing a character and doing a lot of the work is extensive,
It can be.
and I don't know what I'm doing.
For sure. Maybe we can see about doing a live feed on this show where we play a one shot or something sometime. That'd be fun. I can help you out. Anyway, yeah. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of those, and have played a couple rounds of Dungeons and Dragons. I just got super interested into D&D again right before all the stupid controversy with all that shit happening. But and yeah, we don't have to get into it, but I'm glad that that's like relatively resolved. I wanted to say that like one of the big factors in me not doing it more is like finding a group or just finding people, and I think that's like a big like big detractor for a lot of people. And I did want to point out that, you know, this is a little bit off topic, but Dungeon Realms, and it's an entirely integrated like tabletop role playing game, like. It's basically based on Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and it just matches you up with other people, and all of the rule sets and all of the communication, everything is done through the app. It's a really cool way to like just find a group and play.
Oh, you showed me that, right?
Since it's and it's awesome because the group that I'm playing with, it's like you just play when you can, you just like take actions when you can. So, you know, we've been playing for months and months. Yeah,
that's cool.
That's my contribution. And played a lot of D&D, and then I also wanted to. I've never played Call of Cthulhu, but that's something I definitely want to play.
It could be
that's
fun.
like my favorite genre.
For me, just briefly, that I love it. Most of my art is motivated towards doing Dungeons and Dragons stuff, fantasy characters. That's the majority of what I doodle, at least. I love everything about it, like meeting up with people, getting the story, whether you're in charge of the game or just playing along. It's just fun it's like slow motion improv, sort of. With dice involved, you know what I mean? So you just like playing a character. What would my character? You don't even need to know the rules per se. Just say, I want to swing my sword at that guy, or I want to tell this person how to get into the cave without the secret juice, or whatever. That was a weird example. I love it. Secret juice, Nicholas. What are your thoughts on role playing games?
Save us, Nicholas.
I don't know if I can top secret juice. Well, I mean, like we have that's all role playing games.
All those books on the shelf, yeah, that's all role playing games.
Yeah, that is. I've got an entire bookshelf for role playing games. Some of them don't fit anymore. I really
what
love
is the difference between like a role playing and tabletop? Could somebody? I didn't mean to interrupt you, Nicholas. I'm sorry.
No. So like, there are definitely differences. I don't even necessarily consider a role playing game a tabletop or a board game. I mean, it is a tabletop game, but I don't know that I'd consider it a board game, just because it's a lot more involved. There's a lot more free form kind of pretend. It's really just pretend with rules.
Would you say it's on the cusp of being a board game?
Sounds a little cuspy.
Cusp alert.
It's very similar, but like. Board game, you're just like a board game. You have a set objective. You have like a small set of rules that you can hopefully read in like 10 or 15 minutes. Tabletop role playing game books are usually like about 200 pages or more.
Yeah, a bunch of lore, a bunch of rules, a bunch of possibilities.
It's a lot of stuff. You don't even need all of it, but they just write so much stuff. And then what your objective is really kind of determined by the group. Maybe it's defeat the evil wizard, or maybe it's you just want to open a bake shop.
Yeah, Dragon Cupcakes.
You just gave me a great idea.
I suppose it is definitely on
That's
the cusp.
interesting.
And it's really I always like to tell people who get not too involved, but they get super into like having to pay for all the books and stuff. All you need is a 6-sided die. That's all you really need, because you're just playing pretend with a loose set of rules. The more books you get, I mean, it's better for the enjoyment, the whole experience, because there's so many resources in those books, and you can play with like miniatures. I actually just went to the dollar store today and I found these. Nick, you should go there. The Family Dollar has like garden stuff. I had this cool gate for the miniatures. Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's fun.
There's some gnomes out there, and they're like $1. That's another thing, is the miniatures can get expensive. The memorabilia.
Yeah.
Some people get a thing for buying like way too many dice. I love having a bunch of dice though, so I'm not complaining about it.
Oh yeah, I was going to show all my
and then
dice,
you're
but
getting
they've disappeared.
Then you're getting into cosplaying and all kind of stuff. Just how deep do you want the
That
hobby to
would
go?
be my favorite part.
Yeah.
I saw
What's
somebody
that? Maybe
call
we get
dice endorphin cubes.
Endorphin cubes. Yeah, that's good. Let's move on and see what we got with. Okay. Also on the cusp is party games. D&D can be that, depending on the kind of party you want. But what else could there be? Like Pictionary is a good one. You get a big group. You don't need a bunch of people sitting around a table. Now you're in the whole room. Definitely not ping pong. That's not a board game, even though there's 3 boards involved.
Well, going back to Cards Against Humanity, I guess that's not a card, or I guess that's not a board game either. That's a card game.
I think it kind of counts,
It's
though.
cuspy.
It's a party game.
I feel like
it's
that's
on 3 cusps.
I feel like
I always like Cards Against Humanity, but it's like you said, you start to get like people's sense of humor.
Familiar.
And
Yeah.
the other thing is like every single time I play Cards Against the Humanity, there's somebody playing who's like pissed that people don't find him funny because they never pick his card.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
You guys
what
don't
do
like
you
big...
mean?
Never mind.
Oh man, a game that's like that but worse is we have this game called Super Fight,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
and it's very much like Cards Against Humanity. But basically you assemble. You're given a creature, and then like the other cards are like add-ons. So like maybe the creature breathes fire, but like maybe it's a dragon, maybe it's Chuck Norris, maybe it's like Jason from like the Halloween movies. And then basically you just go around the table and match up your creatures against the other creatures, and everybody and then you debate which creature goes back and forth.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like apples
which
and
creature
oranges.
would win.
Yeah, so
But,
yours would be like Jason with laser hands and roller skates.
Yeah.
Mine would be Godzilla with a banknote and a suit and tie.
Oh boy.
And then
But
we decide.
but
who
the
wins.
thing about Super Fight is it starts actual fights.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've had so many games of Super. I've had my parents, like my happily married parents, just start yelling at each other.
Yeah.
About, and it was over a Super Fight.
Like who would win in the fight? And that's so funny.
Cool.
Yep. And then we also have this is now we're getting into video games, but Jackbox games. Have you guys played those?
Oh, you should do
I
it.
love
Rip,
Jackbox
I think you would really
Jackbox,
love it.
dude.
You can download it on your TV now. You can download it on any game console. But it's just Jackbox. There's like multiple installments, and then there's just party games. So everyone is
So
looking at the
good.
screen, but you log in with your phone. And now your phone is the buzzer, and you're all playing a game show. And there's different kinds of games. There's trivia. There's lying games. There's kind of like Price is Right guessing games type of things. There's all kinds.
Ooh.
And a lot of them are comedically based. There's like voice actors, and it's a chuckler. And they update it so it never really gets old.
I'm interested.
You
It's a
should
chuckler.
definitely check it out. Yeah, it's a chuckler. Have you heard of it? You don't know Jack, the old game from computer
Yeah.
days? That's the same people.
Yeah.
That's by those guys.
And you can play You Don't Know
That's right.
Jack on the Jackbox, yeah. So that's kind of cool. That's one of my favorite go-tos for a party game.
Oh yeah,
Party
no, I love.
game.
To me, a party game should just have like light rules, something somebody can pick up in like a minute or
Yeah.
two, and like keeps people engaged. And Jackbox is perfect for that. It's actually this is a really good. The setup we have right now is actually a really good setup to play Jackbox. So
Yeah,
we can do that
actually.
sometime if you wanted.
We were just talking about streaming a game live and then seeing how it works. We could definitely just play it on this.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be cool.
Or Twitch or something. Anyway, that'd be fun. We should figure that out. What's a cool party game that Brooke knows?
I mean, I've played I like a lot of trivia games, I guess, like an
Trivias.
80s, 90s trivia game. Yeah, or Battle of the
Yep.
Sexes. Is that the same? I
Oh,
don't know. But a lot of those games are like older trivia. Like it's not stuff that
yeah,
we know for
and
now.
hard
But it's a nice, fun group game, I think, that everybody can be involved in. I
for
think
sure.
Mhm.
something
Yeah, then we got
light.
like charades. What about that one?
Ooh,
Oh God.
yeah.
How much do
Get
we hate
down
it?
with
I
some
love it.
charades. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
big
like,
time.
yeah, but I'm a big character, so you
Yeah.
know.
What about the guess the word, $64,000 question
Ooh,
stuff? Or when you
Is it just called Guess the Word?
well, there's taboo,
Ah.
but taboo is a little bit more rules.
yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
Or as my old my grandmother-in-law,
categories.
step grandmother, she would say taboo. Y'all want to play taboo?
Oh.
Taboo. I like that. I like that.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, what about there's the drinking games too, where like
Oh
it's a whole
God.
different that's a whole different category. But
Yeah.
It's a fun category, though.
when you're watching a movie, those kind of drinking games, every time someone
Oh,
says
yeah.
Harry Potter, you have to drink,
Jeez.
etc.
Oh.
We had
I
one-
like a nice. I was gonna say I like watching Jeopardy and drinking.
Oh, the parody. Yeah.
If I guess and get it wrong, then I have to take a sip. But if I guess and I get it right, somebody else does.
Make the
Okay.
cat do it if you
I like
have to.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, that guarantees you to get you worse and worse at the game. So it's
Exactly.
like,
It's a one episode type of game.
Yeah. Yeah, I played that one time with Interview with the Vampire, and our rule was anytime someone does a vampire thing, like show their fangs, and then anytime
there's an interview.
There's a couple other ones, but the main one that really got everyone was anytime Antonio Banderas does something sexy, you take a drink. So we all just got hammered before the movie was over.
Yeah, it's like anytime he's on the screen, man.
Yeah.
Just something
Antonio
sexy.
Him existing.
Yeah.
Time
You
Brad
got a bunch
Pitt
of games.
pouts.
Well, what kind of games would you play for a big crowd? Cards Against Humanity is a good go-to, but you get like 10 people in the room, and you got to think of something.
Cards Against Humanity. I like Cards Against Humanity for smaller crowds. But
Okay. Oh yeah, you can't really
but
go
like-
above 6.
Yeah.
if the more people you go, it starts exponentially slowing everything down.
Yeah.
And people get less engaged. I think it falls off after a few people. Like when you get to 10, I don't know.
Mm.
I really like Werewolf.
Yeah.
Werewolf gets more complex the more people you add, obviously, but I think it's a lot of fun because that's kind of the point of the game is that you're everybody's too distracted to figure out who the actual killer is.
Yeah, find the killer again. That's a good one.
One game I haven't gotten to play it yet, but I really want to is Captain Sonar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on Battleship, just the old Battleship game, but it's cooperative, competitive battle. It's team-based Battleship. So instead of playing by yourself, there's you. There's a guy being the captain. There's a guy being the first officer. There's a guy who's running engineering, and there's a guy who's running periscope. Maybe it's not periscope. Maybe it's just a sonar. Anyway, and the whole idea is that you can move around, and you're trying to find the other team's thing, and also avoid them. So
Pulling
like
you.
they're gonna fire torpedoes at you, and you need to this guy needs to keep track of where all the torpedoes are. This guy needs to keep track of how fast you're moving.
Everyone has a job.
Or where you're moving. So, you have to work together. That's a lot of fun.
That game should be called Just Go to Work. Just do your job at work.
Do your job.
Just don't even play this. Just go to work.
Board games are work.
Paycheck.
They are work. Let's see what else we got.
Why
to
do we do
talk
this?
about. Oh. Your cheating is the next topic. Obviously, we're not psychopaths, so we think cheating sucks all around, right? Like, yeah, cool.
Sure. Yeah.
But we've all cheated, I'm sure, at some point. At least I had when I was a kid. I stole some Monopoly money, etc. You know?
Mm.
You stole Monopoly money?
Oh, you know I did. Not very often though. I think that the integrity set in quickly. Like, this is boring if I cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
There was one time I was playing. We were just playing cards. I think we were playing poker or something. And Josh went to the bathroom.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And
oh my god.
Oh,
I don't know.
Same time.
But you were gone long enough that I stacked the deck specifically so that every other card would give me the next card for a royal flush.
Dirk.
What if Josh just got like so pissed right now?
Yeah, then just
I never knew that.
smashed your skull against the bedpost.
Jeez.
I got cheated pretty bad one time when I first became a big time stoner after high school. Me and my stoner homies went to Waffle House. We smoked a lot, and then we got a bunch of waffles and played Monopoly there. And as long as we kept ordering stuff, the waitress didn't care. So I just kept getting waffles every once in a while. So we're all playing. We're doing pretty good. And I was high enough and stupid enough to be like offering actual waffles for like Park Place and stuff. So I was using physical money to buy the game. And
oh no,
that's not necessarily cheating, but that caused me to realize how quickly I was losing money. But it wasn't even. But it was a good buffer. I realized all three people I was playing with were conspiring against me specifically to get them to get me to keep buying them waffles. So they were all stealing from the bank and passing notes under the table. So they were all just like embezzling from the bank while I was like throwing money at them at the same time. And they were doing it. I mean, it was all in fun. Like I figured it out eventually, and we all laughed about it. But I was probably down
That's
about
amazing.
$20 in waffles.
Worth it, I think.
That's a lot of waffles.
Now back
Set
to
you
waffle
up.
prices were low.
Yeah. In this economy,
So we used to play this game. I think it's called Wahoo. It's with I know it's these marbles and dice, but it's a board game. So you have to get all your marbles from like your home base to your bank or whatever.
Kind of like Chinese checkers,
You have
sort
to
of.
go around. Yes, yeah. And the lady who taught me this game, and she watched us in the summertime. Her name's Carol, and she shout out to Carol. She would yell at us, and she'd be like, "Liars and cheaters go to hell," while she's like smoking a cigarette. Yeah.
wow.
And so, we would try to cheat every once in a while, because we're competitive little kids.
Yeah.
And she would just start to say, "Liars and cheaters go to hell, and they don't get to play in the pool," or whatever, like.
There are no pools in hell.
You're never gonna get any more cheese.
I love that the severity goes from you're going to hell, but also you don't get to play in the pool.
No pool time.
Yeah, you gotta show them the long term, but then you ring them in for the short term.
Hell, hell's a million years away, but the pool.
But the pool, that's today.
Liars and cheaters are never gonna get true love, and there's no hell.
And yep. So
I actually
it's like go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, I was sorry. I was gonna say that I actually cheat in reverse, where like if I start winning too hard at a game, I start to feel bad. So I'll cheat in the opposite way, where I'll make myself start losing so that the other person starts winning. That's how I cheat.
That's how Nick does with when we play Street Fighter. He'll play like somewhat okay for a while, but once I get a few victories, he stomps me into a gulp. You want to keep playing, so you don't want me to feel too bad.
I do.
Awesome.
Oh, we used to play Phase 10 a lot. With my grandfather, and he was really good at Phase 10, and I liked more. I I was still like kind of low grade board game person, but I was like, I should be able to beat him. Like I'm not great at Phase 10, but I'm great at board games in general. So I feel like at some point I should be able to win.
Yeah.
And like for years, like he would win almost all the games, and it was crazy. And then I found out Mom was literally just handing him cards that he needed.
Yeah, she was feeding him the whole time to make him feel good about winning.
Always. She'd always sit right next to him, and she was always giving him cards.
She would get in fights with stepdad because like, why are you letting him win? And whatever. Yeah, but there's also the fact that Granddad was, his mind was going eventually, and he.
Yeah, no.
We weren't sure if he was cheating openly or if he just didn't realize he was cheating. Because he would draw too many cards and like,
oh yeah,
no, you can't have 7 pairs, Granddad. You can't.
You forget what phase he was on, but that's a different story.
What phase he's on. It always worked out for the best, of course. Or like he played Yahtzee quite a bit. He liked to play Yahtzee because eventually he couldn't play cards anymore. So Yahtzee was next, and he, it's 3 rolls. You roll, I think it's 3 rolls, or is it 2? Anyway, he would take 2 extra every time. He just said 5 rolls. Yep, Yahtzee again. You know what I mean? And we weren't sure if he was doing it on purpose or if he lost count. So we're like, just let him have it. Why
not? Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, let's move on to props. Okay, so like besides the board and the dice, or even we can talk about both, but games like a Mousetrap, for instance, where you have like you're assembling something in the course of the game. Those are pretty cool. Remember those? And they were a big deal in the 90s. Ooze stuff and
Operator.
Punching things and Operation. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the original prop games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to get so scared playing that game.
So much anxious.
Yeah. It's so stressful.
I think you just
killing that guy.
in my mind just now talking about Operation.
Yeah.
It's
like a synapse exploded just now.
Shoot.
Yep. That also goes with the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. People get really into the minis and painting their own miniatures and like Warhammer type games. Those are more strategy games, but they're kind of boardy because the props are optional sometimes. But designing your own or getting a big order like 3D printed or assembling your own props is like a big deal in some of those games. I'm really interested in getting started with that, like developing scenery for a miniature to make a big, and like people who do like model trains with the fake trees and all that stuff, like same brain wave, I would assume.
Yeah.
I love props. I love a really high production board game. I like that.
Do you remember a game from the 90s called Don't Wake Daddy?
Oh yeah.
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 That game was terrifying. Like
you couldn't make it today, that's for sure.
Why not?
Just abuse related.
I don't know what that.
You imagine the commercial would be gritty like Zack Snyder, where Dad's walking down the hall with a belt.
Don't wake Daddy.
This is weird.
It's a gritty horror remake.
Don't wake Daddy. That was scary though.
Kerplunk. That was one.
Kerplunk.
Right?
Oh, Kerplunk.
Yeah.
With the little sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, it pull sticks out. Well, what about the fishing, where you had the little magnet fishing and the sharks, the hungry hippies? Yeah.
Hungry hippies.
Yeah.
Hungry hippies.
Feed them their Wheaties.
That's right. Oh man, never mind. There was that alligator toothache game. Is that? That was a pretty proppy game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or what about the Uno? I haven't played with this, but the thing that spits at you, spin the bottle thing that it does. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
What?
That was wild.
There's it's like a dealer. Like you put the cards in for Uno, and when it's your turn, you draw a card when you have to, but it's random. It might give you 30 cards, or it might give you 2. It just spits them at you.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, I am familiar with that. Interesting.
Yep. Or what about
that thing kind of blew my mind.
Chess set? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Uno
card
spitter outer guy. That's what he's called. It's a technical term. That really blew my mind at that time because I had never seen like a prop just move on its own, and I was just
Yeah.
like, this thing is possessed by magic. I just know it.
Yes. Yes.
You're going to hell for using it. And you can't go.
Oh,
Can't go in the
God.
pool.
Spells with that.
We had an experience like that with the VHS game we mentioned, Nightmare. So the whole thing is we're working together to
No.
stop the nightmare from happening, and there's a VHS guy, the gatekeeper. I've said this on a previous episode. But the whole thing is he talks to you, he tells you what to do, where to go on the board, and you have to try to stop him. You have an hour to do it. And he pops in, pops out. But one time he popped in, he's like, I want to speak to you now. And I was the one he speaks to because of something. And we're going to play a guessing game. And he's got all nasty, and his makeup's disgusting, and his teeth are like, ugh. And he's looking at you right in the camera, and he's like, pick a number. Or roll the dice or something. No, I rolled the dice, and it was a 5. Okay, I got a 5. That must be good because it's a high roll. And he's like, this is my number. It is 5. And I shit my pants because he guessed what I rolled. It was totally coincidental. It was like, after that, he's like, if you rolled a 5, then go here. But at the time, I was like, holy shit, how did he know? How did he know?
But
Now,
it was worse because there's a pause between this is my number. We're like, oh, that's bullshit. He can say that for any number.
Yeah.
And then he says, it is 5. So he's it felt like he was responding to stuff we were saying.
Yeah, or thinking or whatever, yeah. Whew,
Crazy.
scary stuff.
Now, so for a game like that where it's with a VHS, can you really only like play that once? Because okay,
No, eventually
No,
you
he's
figure it out,
always-
but
he's always going to say it is 5, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're
for
rolling.
that. Yeah, that was purely
Interesting.
coincidental that it freaked me out because I rolled a 5 in the way he paced his structure. But like the game is different from time to time. He does the same things every
Okay.
time, but eventually you get to where you speed run it. Like, how fast can we beat this game?
Okay.
Yeah, and,
But also-
I'd say, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, but also there's a lot of random stuff happening with the board too.
Okay.
He's not the primary thing that's happening.
He's
He's just showing up randomly to fuck up whatever's about to happen,
Mhm.
and you're not really exactly sure when he's going to show up or what order all the things are happening in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
so they've actually remade Nightmare a few times. They've tried to get it back going, and they've done it on like DVD, and they've done it on like streaming. I think there's an app you can get on your phone now where
Wow.
they'll randomize the things that he says and when he says
Oh,
them.
cool.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah, good game. Props.
down
He's a
on
different
that.
guy though. Makes me
What's
What's
the
you
sad.
card
guys'
games you like,
go-to?
Gardner? Oh, go ahead, Brooke.
Oh, just kidding. I was
What?
going to ask you guys what your Monopoly prop is. Everybody's got their
Oh,
go-to.
that's a good one.
Dog.
Trying to think. I guess I go with the hat, but I don't really. I particularly have made it a point to not care. Like I force myself to not have a pick. I'll just grab one. I don't care. To prove a point, it's really stupid.
I do really like the hat.
Uh-oh.
Or
I like the wheelbarrow.
wheelbarrow.
That's good. I like Thimble.
Thimble's not bad.
Thimble Gang.
What else is there?
I don't
The
know.
car?
They had one.
Oh, let's
I think
see.
I might still have it somewhere, but it's Monopoly is the first one that has the credit cards. Have you played that one?
Ooh.
There's like a debit card system
Mhm.
instead of paper money, so it keeps track
Oh,
of
that's
it.
funny.
It's actually pretty great. It's
So you can't
preferable.
steal money.
Well, you can still steal money, but you got to be sly with it because it beeps. But they made new pieces. Like there's a laptop, and I'm sure some of them are already out of date
Wow.
because it's been
Oh,
10
interesting.
years.
Top
But
hat.
most of them were pretty
thimble.
A mobile
The iron
phone.
has been retired. There's
Hey,
the
mobile.
boot. Oh, I always like the boot.
But
Oh, the
Yeah.
boot.
yeah, it has a boot
It's
strap.
good.
You know,
There's a battleship for some reason and a cannon.
because of the war.
Race car. Well, actually, like I saw this. It was actually a skit, but I saw a skit where they explained that the battleship and the cannon were holdovers from another game that came out.
I heard that too.
uh,
Yeah.
Oh,
relatively soon before that. So they just kept the same props. because they didn't
Why not?
want to spend money to
Smart
make
economically. I want to
Yeah.
ask everybody before we move on. In Monopoly, what happens when you land on free parking?
New ones.
You get the money.
Yeah.
That's what I think too. So that's
Right.
apparently that's not the rule.
It's not the rule, but
That's-
it's the house rule that everyone must agree on. You put 500
Yeah.
in there, and then every time you
Yeah.
hit utilities or whatever, you pay it
Right.
into that.
That's how I've always played.
Yep.
It made me furious to learn that that's not an official rule.
It's so good.
Furious.
House rules, though, like that's just as much as a rule as regular rules, I think.
Very much, because then when you're talking about a game like Spades, there's a right way to play
Yeah.
Spades, and no one plays
There
that way.
is.
Yeah.
Prison rules.
Interesting. Prison.
Yeah, and then
Interesting.
actually,
That's what it is.
Uno as well. There's like
Oh,
stacks.
yeah.
You guys ever heard of stacks? People get mad when you don't play
Possibly.
stacks.
Okay,
like when
explain
you-
what stacks is.
Like if I have a draw 2, I can put all my draw 2s down, and you have to draw 16 or whatever. Or if I have
I like that
4,
rule.
I can
Oh.
drop all my 4s.
There's a right way to play Uno, but I think that game is about making your opponents mad. So I think the more
Yeah.
house rules that do that, the better.
Yeah.
Make 'em mad. I want you to hate this day.
That's
Hate
great.
me today.
There's a lot of older board games that are based on that premise.
Yeah.
Monopoly, Uno.
Sorry. That's literally the title.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. And that's a little prop game too. We forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
I love
Even,
that.
I want
even
one of
just
those
like
for Dungeons and
operation
Dragons.
where the other person's going and you're just trying to like you're saying stuff to try and distract them while they're doing this really.
Yeah. Give him a wet willy.
Uh,
All right, we got a few more topics. I'm gonna say them, and we're only gonna do one more of these. The first one to comment. That's the topic we're doing. Okay. So, I hate this game as a possibility. Any takers?
wait,
Know
I
the
wanna do
crowd.
all of-
We've kind of been over that. Sort of. Complexity kills. So the 20-page instruction manual or too many manuals or all the dice and all, stuff like that, yeah. And then electronic games. We kind of went over that with Battleship and such. So
what was the last one?
Electronic. Know the crowd.
Oh, electronic.
I hate this game. Or complexity kills.
I've got one for I hate this game.
Boom. There it is.
It's you guys have maybe heard of this. It's called a Ouija board.
Ooh, yes.
And you hate that game?
I hate this game.
Okay, elaborate.
Is it even a game?
Oh, it's a game.
It's a game.
Jumanji, I guess that would be a good one to.
Jumanji. No, I would say Ouija counts because, I mean, at least one person in that room
I mean,
is trying
it's
to
marketed.
fuck with someone
It's marketed as a game.
Yeah,
else.
I've
So, do you-
actually never played with a Ouija board. That terrifies me to think
Yeah.
about
No, you can
that.
play the Ouija board, you go to hell, you don't go to the pool.
Go
That's
straight
right.
hell. Do not pass go.
And it's so funny because it was invented
That was-
by some white guy in the 40s or 50s. Like, there's nothing to do with Satanism or anything.
There's
to do
nothing
with
occult
witchcraft.
about
It's
it.
just made up by some guy.
Mhm.
Crazy.
I saw Poltergeist for the first time. Wait, was it Poltergeist? For the
I've
first
never
time a
seen
few
that.
months, like around Halloween, and that's what makes her possessed.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't know that.
Because that's
My
how she
mo-
gets possessed. She plays with a Ouija board one time and she starts getting possessed.
Dang.
Well,
Recall.
That was the moral of that whole story was
not even once.
convert to
Man.
Catholicism,
Not
don't
even
play
once.
Ouija boards.
Isn't that
Good
funny
call,
though?
Brooke.
Like really, if it was real, it would be immediately recalled. Why is it being recalled? Because it's real. You know what I mean? They wouldn't
That's
let
People
that
keep
just-
summoning spirits
Oh.
into their house.
But also,
It's the government cabal putting Satan,
part
putting
of the
Satan in
freaking
the
ghost
house.
gang.
I mean, our government sells us much worse things on the daily.
So, but they don't
You
tell
know,
you what
so-
it is. It's like 9 out of 10 of doctors agree under gunpoint that this is pretty good stuff.
That the Ouija board.
I
Will
really do
take
kind of
pride.
hate. I kind of hate some monopolies. I don't like to play it because of this. That no one's, not everyone in the room is happy at all. You know what I mean? Most of the time, no
Right.
one's happy at the end. Or can we just end this? Like you're gonna win, etc. So it doesn't really do the job that it's supposed to do, really. I feel the same way kind of about Life, the game. I used to love that as a kid, but now, I mean, it's just rolling the dice. Like, there's zero skill involved. It's just like, this is what's going to happen to you, which is on topic for the game. It's on theme for the game of life. Like, you really don't have.
But it's not fun.
What's going to happen. You're just going to get hit by a car eventually. So that's cool that it's like on theme and stuff, but it's not a fun game. There's nothing in the only like choice you have is the very beginning on whether or not you go to college. And it turns out you're probably better off not going to college, which I don't think they were trying to do at the time, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't go to college, and I'm kick ass.
I dropped out, so I'm a happer.
I hate. Yeah, that. Well, cusp alert. Yeah, I dropped out too. I think I've grown to hate Jenga. I don't. Does anybody ever really like pull out Jenga to have like a night of fun? I feel like you play Jenga once, and then
but there's ways to make it better.
Oh, how do you make it better?
There's ways to make it better. You can write on the Jenga. I
have seen that.
And like there's one that's like texture X or something wild.
See, that's
like
fun.
Pleasing to the crowd.
Okay.
That's
there's like a big trend in like hipster bars to have like those giant Jengas.
The giant Jengas, yeah.
Which like it's fun in theory until like it's
someone
just drunk people making way too loud noise. Yeah.
Lincoln Logs topple over. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Someone's gonna come along and try to karate chop one out, and then they break their wrist. There's blood everywhere. Ruined it. Well, we don't. I've never heard of that kind of writing on the Jenga bricks. But what my mom does is we bring out Jenga when there's like relatives around, and it's like we need a game that everyone can play, zero skill involved, pretty much. So every time she breaks it out for like a holiday or get together, she writes the day and who was there. So we have a Jenga set that's like all these memories in it. So that's pretty cool. But only if you're a sappy little Scot.
Call me Scott because I'm sappy.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah. Puke.
Anyway, so you guys wouldn't necessarily be opposed to if we figure out how to live stream. Perhaps maybe we could do some board game or some Jackbox. That might be fun to do.
Oh yeah,
that'd be fun.
Cool. Well, so let's just keep our eyes open for that. But I guess that's been the show for today, more or less. Nicholas, thank you for joining us for the Gorps. Anywhere that we can reach you in particular?
No, I don't exist.
He doesn't exist. All right. Brooke, what's up?
At Brooker Loves on IG.
Oh, it's on IG. Mr. Swan.
Hey, if you love shitty books, do I have the shitty book for you? I wrote a shitty book called Death and Human Resources. It sucks. Buy it on Amazon.
Buy it on Amazon, please.
Cool. I'm going on Amazon right now.
Did you say it's like ethereal fairy smut? No, you say it is? Or is it a...
Yes, it's just fairy porn. No, it's like if Neil Gaiman wrote an episode of The Office.
Oh, great.
That's the elevator pitch. There you go. Oh, Nick likes that.
It's a cool idea.
That's the best pitch I've ever heard.
Well, yeah, you can find me. I'm on JR Berkeley at Instagrams. You can find us on Instagrams, Gorp Show. Twitter's on the Gorp Show, or you can find us on TheSadFan podcast. One word on the tube. We have other shows as well. One of them's about sports, so skip that. Just kidding. Thanks for coming out, guys. Everybody, have a great night and keep it real.